Welcome, everyone, to episode 107 of Just Joshing. I am your host, Joshua Pantelleresco. I write stuff and podcast too. I'm just going to get right into it. Part 2 of my conversation with Kate Ann and Claire Everward is up. We start with zombies and go from there.
Yeah, no, it's actually quite fun seeing, it's quite fun.
No, it's fine.
I've had weeks. Yeah, you're fun.
I try, yeah.
You're fun, and I'm definitely stealing some of your phrases because...
It's okay. I got.
That's what I do. I mean, being in marketing, that's what I do.
It's good. I'm good at log lines. It's my thing. I can pitch. If I read something, if I believe in it, I can pitch it pretty much better than anybody I know. So that's my superpower as a writer.
Hey, when's the book? You said 2 books. When are they coming out?
Okay. So I have currently books out. If you go on Amazon.com right now and you look me up.
I know.
Yeah.
I have 3 books out.
Yeah. So the fourth. So the third book in this Watcher Storm Dancer series, the last book, The Wandering God, comes out September 17th. The Cloud Diver, which is the book we talked about with the unicorns sprouting rainbows. I forgot to talk about the zombie mobsters, dragons, and all the other things that are in this book. Like I said, this is a kitchen sink book, right? My imagination is.
You went wild. You went wild. Yeah, we had a discussion. Claire,
we had a zombie discussion.
Because Claire's a suspense author, and so she writes basically hardcore suspense, except for the first book that's called it's basically suspense with a touch of fantasy. But we had a discussion about that because of the Walking Dead, right?
The Walking Dead, yeah.
And
fear of the Walking Dead.
Maybe you'll be able to explore. I mean, we seriously, we tried. I mean, I can tell you, I tried to watch The Walking Dead.
Okay, so.
Come on. Okay, you have a dead guy. He's walking around.
Okay.
Please explain.
Okay. So the idea is, right, is that there's this big giant plague infection, right, that's threatened the majority of the human race, and The Walking Dead deals about what happens after the the zombie apocalypse. Literally, that's what it's about, right? But the problem with The Walking Dead is, and the problem with The Walking Dead as a concept is this: there is no ending. Right? That's the problem with it. There's no actual. There's a beginning. There's a beginning, which happens before the show happens when he comes out of his coma. Right? Right? Before he goes into his coma. When he goes into the coma, the zombie apocalypse happens. When he comes out, right? He's woken up to this big giant zombie apocalypse.
True.
Right?
Yeah,
so that's the beginning of the story. Then the middle of the story.
I remember.
All right. So the middle of the story is
I remember.
Group comes together, goes to safe spot, gets threatened by great evil, has to retreat, finds another safe spot, gets threatened by another said evil or zombies, leaves said spot, goes to another safe spot. So now here's the problem with that. There's no actual ending to this.
It's like Fear of the Walking Dead. It's exactly like Fear. That's the one supposed to have been before. Fear of the Walking Dead. Did you see it?
I don't have time for TV anymore. I read the comment.
Okay, so let's go to the philosophical discussion of the zombie apocalypse. Okay, because eventually, it all ends in the same way, and it's all the same.
Well, that's it. Okay, so the zombie genre, which I think was where we're going to get to. So what I did was, in my story, right, I decided... Now, there's 2 kinds of zombies. There's two kinds of...
There is...
Wait, she's got the delay. Stop.
I have a delay.
No, you're fine now. It's okay. There's a freeze. I sent them a message. Okay.
So anyway...
Okay, continue. Your zombies, please. Yes.
Yeah, so there's 2 kinds of zombies. Right? Okay. There's the classic end-of-the-world zombies, which is what we're talking about here. But another good example of zombies is the Borg. The Borg is another example of a zombie. Because if you really sit there and think of...
The Borg is from
Star Trek, right? But that's their take on... Yeah.
Star Trek.
Yeah, no, everybody loves Star Trek, right? I love Next... Yeah, but the thing is... if you really sit there, what the Borg are, they are zombies, right? They are part of a hive mind collective that is trying to assimilate, right? They're trying to assimilate other cultures, and literally for knowledge. So really sit there, their knowledge is the equivalent of zombies' brains. Knowledge. So it's another
classic race of zombies. Okay.
Yeah. So just think.
It created the hybrid between the Borg and the zombies. Okay, continue.
So
I want to hear this. Okay.
So that's the other interpretation of a zombie. A zombie is like the Borg. So what I did in my story was I came up with we're playing like now today on a nano and pico scale in terms of technology today. And I mean, even if you look on your skin sometimes, you'll see things that weren't there, that weren't there even 20 years ago based on these little interactions. So probably at some point down the road, since we're playing with DNA and 3D printers and stuff like that, people are going to do weird experiments on themselves. Because that's just human nature. Curiosity, what happens when I do this? So I came up with a character, and I named it after my sister's letter, named Chester. The only word he can speak is brains. That's what he says. He's right, but he's a classic zombie. But he's a mob henchman, right? But not everybody. But he doesn't have this interest in actually turning people into zombies. That's not his job. He's part of this cartel. And he's an employer like anybody else. He just has a speaking impediment because why not? And right, that's right. The thing about zombies, right? The thing about zombies, if you look at them as a classic fiction trope, there's only two stories you can tell, right? There's clever ways of doing it, but there's only two stories you can really tell, right? You can tell the story about them overrunning the world. Which at some point, if you want humanity to survive, you have to figure out how to solve that problem. That's story one. Or story two, they're like the Borg. They're a hive mind, an external threat, and an invasion. It's like, right, more of a classic science fiction story, right? You can go one way or the other, but you can't go, right? And that's a zombie story. Now, the zombie as a character, on the other hand, you can do all kinds of fun things with it. Because a zombie can't die traditionally, right? So my thinking on a zombie then is, if a zombie can't traditionally die as we know it, that means you can put the character in just situations that you really shouldn't put any other character in, and he'll walk away from it. He might not be happy about it, but he can walk away from it. And so the idea is this, right? So that's how I play with them, because for me it's like there's only two stories you can really tell. So if I'm going to choose a third option, I'm going to choose the Wile E. Coyote option. The Wile E. Coyote is a tough SOB, but he takes a world-class ass-kicking every cartoon he's in. And Claire is actually totally in on this. She likes this, right?
I loved him when I was a kid. I loved Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah, he's a tragic figure.
Poor guy.
He was always hit, killed, run over, beaten. Yeah, but he's cute.
But the thing is, he keeps getting up. I mean, he keeps getting up. So I mean, that look. I don't blame the Roadrunner for running, because you can't stop that guy. He literally is a zombie.
Absolutely. I love these guys. That was my favorite cartoon.
No, it's great. My favorite one is when he actually caught him by accident. There's this one episode where, right, where he actually catches him, and there's this moment.
A long time ago.
Yeah, right, but
I think I last watched it when she was a kid.
Okay. Yeah.
My memory's not that good. No, but it's like, they were always the best.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, as a grown-up, you don't understand why you actually love the Roadrunner, because seriously,
he's a dick.
Wow, he was so cool.
The underdog.
Well, yeah, but because the Roadrunner was cool. That's the thing. When you were a kid, the Roadrunner can run really, really fast. right?
Yeah.
He had a bit of and he was a dick. But again, when you're younger, you like that, right? When you're older, you realize you realize like you're an asshole. Just the problem is Acme's a shitty company. That's the true downfall of Wile E. Coyote. Do not buy Acme products because something always goes wrong. They miss. It might be a detail thing. It might be a unionized thing, but they just don't get it right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So,
Acme. Oh my God, I already forgot about them.
I know, but
Yeah.
this is where my podcast goes, folks. I've talked about Darkwing Duck and demonic possession on the same, not the same episode, but in this podcast. So it goes everywhere. I don't really care. The important.
You did definitely.
Yeah.
That's what I noticed when I listen to one of your other, I think the 100, that basically you just go wherever, and I think that's what's nice here. I mean,
Well,
you don't need a script.
Well, marketing. Well, but we're gonna. Well, I think we'll talk about your book to wrap this up. But before we do, just this is my philosophy for the podcast here. I look. The truth of the matter is, it's easier than ever today to make a book. Now, a good book takes some work, right? But it's easier than ever to publish a book. And but the thing is, there's so many of them out there. How do you differentiate between you and everybody else? And the answer to that question is you, right? Because you yourself are a one-of-a-kind personality, and you have to be willing to go out there and be yourself. We live in a more accessible time today than we ever have in the past, and because of this, you can't just go out and go, I'm a writer and I'm awesome and made of cheese. Because even though cheese is awesome, right? It's not enough anymore, right? Right? You have to be you. You have to be the best you know how to be. You have to be willing to go out there and have fun. You have to be willing to show people that, there's a human being there and not, something that resembles a human being. Because that's scary. And
That's exactly the philosophy. That's what we do. That's what we started things like the Twitter, because we wanted to just talk to people, to show us that we're people.
Exactly.
Obviously, the first thing is making sure you put a good quality book out there.
Obviously,
which is why both books, that's what they are. But thing was, we started the Twitter and everything just so we can talk to people. That's why the blog.
The blog started before. The blog, which is, by the way, on authorandsister.net. That's the name of the website, the name of the blog.
I wanted to talk to people. Every week I decide what to tell, and I just talk to people, and I talk.
Oh, and
I like it. I like it.
Connect directly.
That's the real secret. Like that's the real secret to this. And this is what the podcast does. I could be a lot more book centric than what I have been in terms of interviewing you, but it's been more fun watching your reactions to when we talk about things like food and coffee and swearing and zombies, and because it's
zombies.
Right, because
sweet latte and M&Ms.
Yes,
it is. You're right. It's today more than any other time. It's the people behind the book. If the readers like the person and the person connects, then they'll buy the book. You're so right. I mean, that's really our motto. And it was very difficult for us because we were both very introvert, and then suddenly having to get out there and conquering the world. It's like you start with hiding behind the couch, and then you jump.
It's fun. It's fun talking to people. It's fun.
It is. From all over the world.
To people.
It's amazing.
It's fun. There are a lot of people out there.
Sure.
It's fun.
Absolutely.
And I'm I'm hoping that it will develop and that we'll know more people. And it's so much fun.
Yeah.
And this is actually fun too, because spent the entire day, with the book, with the next book, and just working and just thinking and everything. A lot of thinking. So it's nice. It's like this is the most
talking
fun
to a guy about coffee and zombies. That's like. And you finally answered our question about zombies, because this is really been bothering us.
Yeah, we just sometimes you're serious and you got all this stuff on your mind and everything, and then you start talking about something like zombies.
Yeah.
How come we can? What's this zombie thing? Why aren't we scared? I mean, why do horror movies bore us? I mean, why?
That's another discussion. That's a huge discussion right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the thing about today. All right, if you look at talking about movies today, the language of cinema is dead. And the reason, what I mean by that is, have you ever watched an old Alfred Hitchcock movie or an old?
Of course, yeah. Are you kidding?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Now Hitchcock knew how to fucking direct a movie.
He's a master.
Yeah, right. Now, Psycho is still somewhat scary. Not the actual act itself, but the build-up to it is actually really creepy, right? He understands.
Yeah, the adrenaline and.
It's right now. Now, why does that work? And whereas today they can show you anything, literally on camera, and you don't flinch. Partly because we're monsters today, but that's part of it. But the other part of it is, the truth of the matter is, there's no language, there's no build-up. Like the best.
I confuse gore with horror. They for some reason they decided that chopping someone's hand off and turning it into salami is horror.
Oh, it's disgusting, but yeah.
It's disgusting, but it's not something that'll build your adrenaline. You'll say yuck, okay, and you'll go eat a sandwich with salami because
Yeah, I mean, there aren't Hitchcocks and there aren't Stephen King. It's like
Stephen King's movies aren't necessarily the best either, but his books are like book wise.
it's huge.
Yes. Oh no, absolutely. We all want to be Stephen King.
Christine, I mean, I sometimes, sis Christine, I sometimes do, still after all these years, I do sometimes say good morning to my car just in case.
Fair enough.
We want to eat. Okay?
Fair enough.
Just in case.
Fair enough. Okay.
Thank you, Stephen King. I mean,
I love his. I'm more of a I like his fantasy more. Like I'm a big Dark Tower fan. Like I love his Dark Tower series. So.
no, I'm classic horror. His classic is It and Stand, Dark Zone, Kristen. It's like
I like it. I like it. I'm just saying, like me personally, I dig King's horror, not his horror, but his fantasy stuff more. Just me. It's just personal preference. I'm not judging. He's good. Like he really is. But I love the Gunslinger. I love the Drawing of the Three. I love that series is my favorite of his stuff. So, last book made me cry. I'm not ashamed to admit it. So.
Like he's got everything for all of us.
Yes.
Something for all of us. He's amazing. He's just classic.
So I'm going to get towards the end of the interview here. But before we get to the end, I have two more questions.
No more zombies.
No more zombies today. Maybe tomorrow. Right? Yeah, maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
My question is to you two related. Obviously, between the two of you, what's the age gap between you two? I'm just curious more than anything else.
Oh my God, we actually had to think about that.
Yeah.
It's mad. About 7.5 years.
Okay.
Claire is the older. Yeah. Kate is the younger. About 7.5 years, give or take.
So, are there any other siblings with you guys, or it's just you two? In between,
It's the
we have another one, but he's not
part of the family.
involved. Yeah, he's not part of this deal.
No, it's fair.
Yeah.
But no, my question.
Just us and our mom. Just us and our mom for many.
No, fair enough. So, okay. So I understand. I have a sister. So she's a younger.
Yeah, you told us.
Yeah.
Sister.
Yeah, I have a younger sister. So, so I'm just basically, I can put myself in Claire's shoes a little bit because I'm the older one. I'm not sure if I'm the more mature one, but I am the older one.
How many years? What's the age gap?
15 months.
Oh, that's not at all like 7.5.
No.
It's like
But here's the thing. You watch out for her because she's your little sister, and if anybody does anything, you will kick the crap out of them. You'll bring out your inner supervillain, and you will unleash onto the world. However, she also looks out for you because she deep down remembers you used to look out for her. Maybe not so much when you were younger, but as you got older, for sure. And they remember that stuff. And then suddenly you find yourself some days out of nowhere getting help from your younger sibling who you remember protecting once upon a time. And suddenly you realize, yay, we're family, and it's awesome. Am I wrong?
Well, I think at this point we're just
We're
equal, and we look.
Yeah.
We're kind of different because of the life we had. We had a pretty bad life. So, and the thing is that I think it's different. We were always together and looking out for each other for many years. And kind of the only thing that happened is that I think, I don't know, it's like, it's different. There's a different context to it now.
Mm-hmm.
We
Absolutely.
are equal, we're sisters, we are, sometimes she's the older one, sometimes I'm the older one.
Yes.
It's also different to add to it
kick each other.
The business side.
Exactly, because we're also business partners. So it's different when you're also business, and it's different. So because we're sisters and we are business partners, you can have a conversation, go this way or that.
Yeah, and the different, there is definitely a difference. I mean, also once you're older and once you're working together, then I mean, you obviously protect each other, and you also work together. So that's a different. Yeah, we are in a different philosophical context.
There is a lot more to it than what you said, because what you said is like, it's true, but I don't think. I mean, we just.
No, so.
There is so much more to us now.
Oh,
this is a family business, and it's good. We were lucky also to grow up as friends.
Yeah.
So there's some. It's like
I just
sisters, and there's so much there.
Well, I can just tell you two are close, and actually don't take that for granted. I knew. No. I got a chance to work for one of my heroes, and he has there's three brothers, and there's three brothers and a sister, and they live literally miles away, like 2 or 3 miles away from each other, and with one or two exceptions, they only see each other at Christmas time.
That's terrible.
No, it is.
That's such a waste.
No. But I'm just saying. What you two have is a really good thing.
No, I would never leave her. I don't care. I mean, she could try to kill me, and I wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think she wants to sometimes. I'm the only. Of course, she would try to kill me, but I would still
Authors are mad. I have to say that. Being a publicist,
we're not mad. We're just misunderstood.
Are mad.
Authors are mad.
Authors are mad. And I keep saying that on social media.
I'm gonna tell Mom. I'm gonna tell Mom.
On Facebook, I just write, you authors are crazy. Because seriously, you guys are nuts. I'm not an author. I have no writing talent, no matter what. I can sell.
No, she can do everything else.
I mean, I'm
can
a seller.
only write. She has everything. She's like,
this is what happens. I don't want to get there. I don't want.
You don't want.
Seriously, sometimes being part of that community, it drives me sometimes mad. I mean,
I drive her mad.
Wow.
She drives me mad too. Everyone drives mad. Yeah,
you
we
guys
drive each other mad.
No, it's fun. I won't say it's not.
Come on, Josh. We are. Come on, Josh.
I'm letting you guys talk right now. I'm being very polite about this.
We'll send a zombie after you.
Hey, listen, you gotta listen. I gotta be good to you because you got a black cat. I have to be nice. So I mean, but
yellow eyes. With the yellow eyes.
I mean, I
the big
like
cat. Yellow eyes and everything.
But see, I come from I have a slightly different philosophy than I'm not saying writers aren't crazy. I just haven't found normal yet in this life. When I find normal, I will let you know what that is. I have yet to see it.
Yeah, I think
She nearly did a spit take on that. That was awesome.
Crazy. The thing is, I'll tell you what the thing is. First of all, I agree with you. There's all kinds of nuts, but the thing is that just for one, we have to go to different places in our minds and in our emotions and everything. So we need to deal with a lot, and we need to live like whole lives in our minds.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we need what we do. It's tough. I mean, you spend all this time like literally month and month on a book, and while you do it, you don't know if, especially if it's like the first or the second book, you don't know if you will be accepted, if you will be liked, and then you put it out there, and you're like waiting for a judgment. Like, I don't know, years later, and you keep doing that. You live in uncertainty. You live in limbo, wondering, are you a bad writer? Are you going to be one of those great ones, or just mediocre in between, which is terribly scary? So we kind of live in limbo for a long time, and it's terrifying. We live in the ultimate uncertainty. And until the outer world can tell us, until we can convince, or the outer world convinces us that we're good. And there's always that fear, that what if we aren't good?
Well,
they don't like
well, I'm always nervous with see, for me, it's a little different. I'm always a little nervous with a project, but I'm very comfortable with who I am. Like, I know who I am, so I tend to look at it like this: every book I have is a party, and everybody's invited. And if you don't want to come, it's your loss. And that's how I look at it. That's pretty much, because here's the thing. Now, good is a very relative thing. I don't know if I'm good. Then that me and you do share. I really, truly, honestly don't know. That all said, I made a beta reader have spaghetti come out of his nose reading that book I described to you earlier, right? In a couple spots. So I know at least I did something right there. And the thing of it is, the thing that bothers me is I don't want to be taken for granted. As much as I enjoy doing the podcast, I don't want people to forget that I also write. And that's a very interesting balance. I love talking to people. I love meeting people. You two are awesome, right? And I greatly.
Of course we are.
Yes, of course you are. Absolutely. But for me, it's a little different. I do this to meet and connect with amazing people, and it reminds me too, because again, it's a very solitary. This is a very solitary business. You have to, at some point, you're basically, it's you, a keyboard, a notepad, and occasionally some heavy metal, and that's pretty much it, right? And
a black cat.
And a black cat. Who sometimes you hear talk back to you, and then you get a little worried. But that's another story here nor there. But the thing of it is, so I worry about being good. I worry about being taken for granted because I do other things. But I don't worry about the end result. I have 3 rules to life. 3 rules: show up, do your thing. The rest is rain. And the reason I choose rain is I can't control the rain. Right? I cannot control the rain. The rain is going to fall where it will fall, and there's not a damn thing I can do about it. I'm not God. And I don't really want to be either, to be perfectly honest with you. It's too much like work. And the thing of it is, since there are things I cannot control, I don't worry about those things. What I worry about is when I do.
think you are. Okay.
Yeah. What I worry about is I create the best product to create the experience, right? Which is what we do ultimately. Is we create an experience with our fiction, right? That's what we do. And I worry about making the best possible experience I can. And then I put it out there and go, "Hey guys, it's a party. Let's go. Let's have fun." And if people want to come and read it, awesome. And if people don't want to read it, that's fine too. sooner or later, the whole world is going to realize how awesome I am. I'm not really worried about the whens, the hows, the whys. I don't worry about that. Again, it's rain. I can't control that. What I can control is I can be the best damn book possible. I can put it out there, and I can advertise, hey, buy my book. It's awesome and made of cheese. Well, not really cheese, but it's a book. And that's it. And then to the rest, I go, because don't get me wrong, I want money to roll in. I mean, who doesn't? But I mean, when you get right down to it, I can't control who's going to buy or not buy my books. All I can do as a person is put it out there as loudly as I can. Like, I can put Claire Everward. Oh, by the way, with your author name, is it Anna Claire Everward as your author name?
A. Claire Everwood.
All right, so when A. Claire Everwood puts out the Oracle, it's the greatest book ever I can do right at this moment in this time, and it's a powerful, suspenseful experience that will immerse you into a very cool world, and that's your goal, and that's everything you can do with this book. And then after that, you let everybody. If people don't, they missed out, and that's how I kind of see it.
I think you are so lucky that you can see it this way, because Kate can tell you that it's like it feels like, you know, I pour everything into the book, and I take it personally. It's like you put part of yourself out there, and
Absolutely.
I haven't learned what you have yet. You know, obviously my books are very serious and suspense and everything, but I take it personally. It's like in Oracle's Hunt. I love that book.
Yeah.
I just love that book. And
you should.
when you sing it out there, it's like it's out there for everyone to see. And I'm writing the second one in the series now, so it's like, again, everything you put out there, it's tough.
Can
I put myself into it, and I love those books, and
I get you.
I take it personally.
Can I give you advice as a friend? Can I give you advice as a friend?
Yeah.
You can't control the rain. And I know that sounds like I said this already, but I mean, look, you should feel this way about your books, because you did put yourself into them. And honestly, if you didn't, something would be wrong, right? Because they are good. They come from you. You put a lot of work, effort, time, blood, sweat, tears. And sometimes you're laughing when you write, sometimes you're crying, sometimes you're angry, sometimes you go through all of this while you're putting together a book. Yeah, that's right. You live all that, right? But at the end of the day, this is something I learned at a very young age. Because I did my first book way back in 2002. It's not up. It was my very first book to try and self-publishing.
Really?
Yeah. And so I learned a lot going through that. This is where a lot of this came from. Well, I learned a lot of different. I've learned some hard lessons in my life too, and I realized something at the very beginning when I published my first book. No one owes you anything, and when you have that, but that's it.
No, that's definitely, obviously, that is absolutely. I don't think anyone owes me anything.
Exactly.
I owe it to them to be good enough.
Oh, no. But here's the flip side to that. But here's the flip side to that. You are. That is the best book you could do at that time. And the next book you're going to do is hopefully, now this is the hope, is going to be better than the book you did previously, right? Now, when that stops, when that stops, go fishing. That you're done. Like that you're right. But yeah. Right.
That's philosophy. Respect for yourself, for your books, for your readers.
Yeah,
That's
right.
what I do. I'm hoping that I'm going to keep getting better until I'm 100. Never stop becoming better. Never like, never say, fine, I don't want to do that because it's too much work. No. You gotta continue to learn.
But also remember this too. It's not necessarily about the number of readers you have. Now, don't get me wrong. We all want J.K. Rowling, Stephen King numbers. And any author that says otherwise is lying through their teeth. But the thing of it is, right? We as creators, we have to understand it's not always necessarily right away. Like, look at my books. They're epic poetry, graphic novel kind of things, right? They're unique, right? And I decide. So my approach with this is every book of mine. Again, this is just a personal philosophy. Is a unique experience. Now, the downside to this for me is because they're all so different, right? Because they're all so different, it's not going to appeal to everybody. I'm what they would call a niche author because of that. Because even though my stuff might be the coolest stuff on the planet, I accept the fact that as of right now, unless I do something more traditional, right, that I'm only going to appeal to niches here and there and that's it. But those niches I appeal to, I'd be humble, I'd be grateful, I'd be thankful. And I treat them like I would want to be treated. And what you'll find over time, now you're a little bit more mainstream than me, so you'll get there faster. But what you'll find over time is, if you have that philosophy, that niche will grow. And suddenly, you will find people that you had no idea cared about you. And what you're saying and doing are talking to you. And that's actually pretty damn cool. So
yeah, and the thing is, the thing is holding on between the day you first publish and until that happens.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what makes it difficult for the authors.
Absolutely. But like I said to you, don't worry about the rain. Worry about being the best you can be, and then everything else you go. Like again, I don't know if you guys are practicing. Put the rest in God's hands. So you know what? This is what I did. I made good works. My works are good, and I know it, and I believe it. That's the important part. Yeah. That you can control, right? And the rest. Look, hey, listen. I would love to have 1 million people read my books. I would love to. That would make me very happy, and also make me I wouldn't have to work for somebody anymore, and because I'm getting too old for that. And that is the. I like you. I like how I make you laugh. You're awesome. But that's the thing, right? I'm not. Again, I've learned a long time ago. I have been through situations in my life personally where I have not been in control. By and large, right? When you are in those situations, you just realize that the only thing you can really do is keep on. That's it. Yeah. And that's it. Stop. That's it. Right. Stop. All right. So, and for you with your readership, keep on keeping on. Talk to people. Be like this. Be the evil, wicked villainess that you are, right? And yeah, exactly. And show person. I don't want to hear about. I want to hear about your books, but I want to get to know you, and that's it. This is why when you look at my Twitter, it's Bailey's and ice cream, and because I'm a silly guy by nature, I can be very serious. But I prefer having fun on social media. And
I'm just trying to see how seriously, I mean, you're making me want all kind of stuff. First it was like the sweet latte, and then it was like the chocolate. Good. And now the ice cream. Yeah. By the way, 31 degrees, like, what's that in Fahrenheit, 90? Now I want ice cream. 90 degrees, yeah.
Yeah. So try it with Bailey's. Now Bailey's is an alcoholic beverage, but it's awesome. It's awesome. You will be like, yeah, ice cream. Yeah, you'll love it. It's fantastic. You will have that. You'll be like, why did I have ice cream any other way? And I know ice cream's already awesome, and that's a hard thing to imagine. But
add ice cream to it. Yeah, just what we need.
Yeah. So. I get the okay. So before we get to the end here, I think I made your day, Kate. I think I made your day.
I'm thinking about coffee and ice cream now.
And
Yeah.
Bailey's. Yeah.
And Bailey's
in the coffee.
Yeah.
and all together in the same cup.
Oh wow! I never even thought of that. That's awesome.
Exactly. I mean, take the coffee and
coffee
add
is
some Bailey's
amazing.
and then
Exactly.
wow.
Add everything together, mix it all. And
See, I didn't even think of that. Your sister's a genius. So.
She is. No, she is.
Yeah.
She is.
Okay.
We gotta try that, guys. Everyone, we gotta try it.
Okay, we do. So this is officially.
We have to try that.
So this is officially a two-parter now, guys. So we're gonna wrap the interview part of this up here. So this is what we're gonna do. So Miss Claire, I want you to tell me what your book is about, your current book, and then you guys can tell me how to get a hold of you guys on social media. And that's how we're gonna close the interview.
So I'm gonna do the book part, and Katie's gonna do the everything part, which is, by the way, what she does. I'm just the one I'm just right. That's all.
I'm sort of in the dark here, so I'm just going to turn
How
on
come
the
you're
light.
in the dark?
Don't mind.
Yeah.
Because here it's darker. What can I
Why
say?
turned on the lights before? You turned
Because I
on
forgot
the
to turn on the lights. Even you'll see that when I turn on the lights, they're not much of lights. But I'm going to turn on the lights for a second.
Okay.
It's very romantic, but we can't see you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the book. Okay, so the book is the second book, and it's the first book actually in a suspense series. The entire series. Oh, she turned on the lights. Sorry, I just got a deja vu from a Doctor Who episode. Who turned on the lights? Sorry, yeah.
No, it's okay.
We apologize, but we really love, and we love David Tennant, okay? So,
Okay.
we like Doctor Who, we love David Tennant. We're sorry, best Doctor Who ever. We're sorry, everyone else. Okay, so, back to oracles. I see we can go nuts too. There. So, Oracle Hunt, hello. Now we see half your faces. So, Oracle's Hunt is actually the second book, and it's the first in the suspense series. And it's a series that takes place several years, say a couple of decades from now, but it's still the time that we know. It's the world as we know it, just some things, it just the same reality. I just put it there in the future because I wanted certain things to move forwards politically and stuff. And the series also takes place, it runs between the United States and other countries in the world. Every book in the series, every plot will have the United States and and other countries. Everything depends on the plot. The first one, Oracle's Hunt, is in it a multinational data center located in the United States, just outside DC, is destroyed, and the federal investigator assigned to find who did it, who destroyed it, discovers that the only thing stolen was data about something called Oracle. But when he tries to find what Oracle is, he's warned to stop looking for it. And one of the people who wants very much to keep him away from the secret that is Oracle is a woman named Lara Holsworth. And she actually stands in his way, in the way of his investigation, even though the organization she works for and she herself have great interest in him actually succeeding in the investigation. But ultimately, whatever happens, Oracle is in danger like never before, and these two will just have to try to cooperate, even though it just might be too late to make Oracle safe. And that's it. It's a suspense. And Kate also says it's a techno thriller, and it's got just a touch of romance. This is the first one. And the protagonist is the woman, and it's kind of introductory too, because I use it to introduce because it's a series. I have great plans for the series, so it kind of also, I'm using it to introduce the main characters, some recurring ones, and the book that I'm writing now, the second in the series, will kind of complete the introductions. It has a completely different plot, but I also use it to kind of finish the introductions with the hope that from that moment on, from book 3 on, people can just like read the series. Maybe, you know, the plots are different, whatever the order they want, but I wanted them to get the characters, the main characters, known. And no, I'm not going directly to book 3 afterwards. We're starting another series. Suspense.
But they'll be very back to back. That's a very important thing to say, so people don't think that they have to wait a long time, because they don't. But
don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just start another series because it's
just 2 series together in 1 year. That's going to be a lot of fun, and the second series will definitely be different. It's going to be a lot of fun.
All right. So how can people?
Other stuff, but God knows.
The other stuff God knows. Okay, so I can turn Miss K here.
Yeah, and how to reach us. So the easiest way is through our website. It's also our blog. It's www.authorandsister.net. So it's our blog. We have also all contact information, all the information about the books and who we are. On Amazon, we have on Amazon we have Author Central, of course, and you can find the author under her full name, Anna Claire Everward. It was easier, you know, search engines and stuff. So it was much easier. On Facebook, you can find both of us. Just search Anna Claire Everward and Kate Everward. And Twitter, the fun part is our handle is Claire Everward, and the second handle is Author and Sister. So we have lots of social media. You can reach us however you want, and we respond immediately, unless it's the middle of the night for us. But sometimes also when we can't sleep, we're just like Josh here. Sometimes we just don't sleep. So I
don't think anyone is like Josh here. I think Josh.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Josh, talking to me at 2 a.m. That was, fun for me because it was like 9 hours later here. So
Josh makes me look sane. I like him. near Josh, I'm sane. I love Josh. I need Josh. We need to move near Josh because Josh makes me look sane. I love it. Seriously, you made my day. I haven't had this funny, I don't know how. We gotta do this again.
Well, at some point we can.
We're doing it again.
Absolutely. So hold on 1 second here.
For the record, I have no idea why people think I'm the crazy one. I really don't. I am just me. I don't pretend to be anything more, anything less. Maybe that's why I'm crazy. I just don't have the same worries about like or dislike. I am me. And you'll take me for who I am or you won't. And it seems to work out in the grand scheme of things. So what can we do here? I personally don't have a problem with immigration. I like immigration by and large because for me it's a chance to actually meet some amazing people. I have rocked out to Arabic music in a cab. I have laughed with people from Vietnam about just life in general. I have smoked pipes from East Indians with their old-fashioned smoke machines. Do you know what? The one thing, the truth, I wish people would remember: nobody's really that different. We all want the same thing at the end of the day, and that is to be happy and to live life. And Kate and Claire deserve a home where they don't have to worry about, constant fear. So, how are we to do this? Now, I'm going to encourage letters in particular. And the reason why, I know letters do take more work, but here's the thing. Here's the payoff of letters. Letters are physical. Letters actually have weight to them. And there's enough letters in these offices. You can't ignore them. They're just right there. They're a big giant pile, and they might keep coming. So, there's two people I'll contact here. Justin Trudeau, our Prime Minister of Canada, which there's two ways to do that. If you want to do the email, you can do the email, pm@pm.gc.ca, or Justin Trudeau, care of the Prime Minister, Prime Minister's Office, 80 Wellington Street, Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, K1A0A2. Now, for those of you a little intimidated about actually contacting Justin Trudeau, there's the Minister of Immigration, Ahmed D. Hussein, who you can contact at minister@cic.gc.ca, or the Honorable Ahmed D. Hussein MP at 365 Laurier Avenue West, Ottawa, Ontario, K1A1L1. Because, like I said, if you guys are interested, give them an email, give them a letter, give them a telephone or fax call, or actually tweet them. Tweeting them is good too, just to get their attention. And like I said, I was really enjoyed my conversation with Kate and Claire, and I really want to do it in person. We got this great drink here involving coffee, ice cream, and Bailey's, and I for one want to do it. So, guys, you gotta get over here so we can do this stuff, okay? Okay. And that'll do it for another episode of Just Joshing. You can support the podcast a number of ways. You can subscribe to the podcast either through Podomatic or through iTunes. You can also follow my YouTube channel at Joshua Penteloresco. You can buy my books, The Watcher and Storm Dancer, or you can also very shortly pre-order The Wandering God and The Cloud Diver. Two really cool books coming down the pike. You can sign up for my newsletter at tinyletter.com/jpentalleresco, JPANTALLERESCO. But whatever you do, however you help, however you don't, cool by me. But remember, whatever you're pursuing, stay inspired out there. Okay? Okay. All right, guys. You have yourselves a good one. See you next week.
Josh.